in that pain,
Yeah.
there was purpose.
We wasn't ready financially. We wasn't ready spiritually. We wasn't ready at all.
What's up? What's up?
Hi, guys.
Yeah, we're back for our second episode of The Weight That Built Us.
Yeah.
If you are joining us for the first time, welcome. We are
welcome.
going through our 10-day devotional entitled The Weight That Built Us, and
Yep.
we have chosen one question from each day. We are in day 2. If you have just started, make sure you check out day 1. Make sure you check out our infertility journey, and so you're up to date on everything we're
That's right.
talking about. So we're going to get right into this thing of day 2, which in the devotional, day 2 is entitled Trusting God's Timing.
That's right.
And the question we picked is what?
The question is, how do you reconcile the pain of waiting with the belief that God's timing is perfect?
Ooh.
Do you want to go first, or what you want to do? I love this topic.
Oh, do you
go
love?
ahead.
Oh, you love this topic?
Yeah, I
do you
do,
want to
but
go after
no.
it?
Well, no. I'm gonna let you go first. I'm gonna collect all my thoughts. I'm gonna let you have it.
Oh man. Okay. So I think for me personally, the reconciliation probably did not happen until the end results came about, in which our case, until we saw our child in our hands. Then there was the opportunity to reconcile the two. And when I say, I actually had to look up reconcile. I wanted to look it up because I wanted to see that true meaning of reconciliation. And I saw having two things that are consistent or compatible, or having to restore into a like it said friendly relations. And so why I think I say it could not happen for me until the result happened is because while I'm in the midst of the pain, I am totally blindfolded by the midst of the pain. I thought this is me being honest with you guys, is I only saw, man, this is taking so long. Man, I am waiting and waiting and waiting, and I'm feeling the pain of waiting. I'm feeling the pain of loss and hurt. I do have this belief that it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And so there is the saying, it all happens in God's timing. And so we say those things, and I think it's good to say those things because we keep that on the forefront of our mind, and that keeps our faith high and our hope high that God's going to do this thing. We just don't know when he's going to do it, but we know it's not an if, it's a when.
Yeah.
With that being said, when the result happens, the reconciliation happens now, that because I'm like, man, in that time of hurt, God, you were doing something in me.
Yeah.
You were building me. Hence why we even called our devotional The Weight That Built Us, because he was building something in me. In that pain, there was purpose. In that pain, there was something that God was pruning and cutting and putting in me that our daughter, the result was going to need.
Yeah.
So God's timing, he knew the exact time I would be ready to receive the gift that he had.
Yeah.
And so he had to bring me through this process of pruning and pain. And in that moment, now looking back now, as we go through other things, now my perspective is different.
Yeah.
And now I see it in a different light to say, okay, this pain that I'm feeling, what can I learn from this?
Yeah.
This pain that I'm feeling, what are you pruning in me? What fire are you putting me through that I know you're with me in it, and then you're trying to get something to me. So when that timing that you provide, whatever you're going to provide, I am not only ready for it, I can steward it well, and I won't fumble the gift that you've given me.
That's good. That's really good. And I think too, it's like oftentimes I feel as though in my journey, there were moments, not often, but there were some moments where I felt like I had to choose. Like I
Mm,
had to choose, okay, am I having faith or and trust in God's timing, or like am I angry, and like all of the things. Like, and so you kind of, I think a lot of times people often think that like faith and pain can't coexist,
mm,
right? Or they can't happen at the same time and all the things. And
mhm,
it's like, just because you have faith does not mean that the pain goes away, right? Just because you have faith doesn't mean that you don't feel the things that you feel. And I think that oftentimes, like, we have to remind ourselves that it's okay for me to feel pain and anger and all of the things, and yet I still have faith. And I think that um for me, like you as well, like the reconciliation came kind of after the fact, because when you are in the thick of things, I get it. You know, we are
mhm.
faith filled people, but there are moments where it's like, I need some extra faith, or
Yeah.
right now I'm struggling right now,
And not
right?
only that, I think the years too. It's
Yes.
one thing when if it's like, oh, this was for a month, but we're going years upon years upon
Year 3, year
years.
7, year 9, year 11, and you're like, "My God, like,
Yeah.
what is going on?" Um, but I think like you said, like, in those moments, it's God is building us, and it's like we have the choice now of how are we choosing to wait.
Mhm,
And oftentimes, are we spending our time waiting and complaining, or are we spending our times waiting in faith and knowing that, like, God, this sucks right now, but I truly believe that you're gonna bring us out of it in, in a positive light or on a different side, or things like that. And so it's kind of like, one, choosing your position of how am I choosing to wait is something that I feel like is very important as you are waiting in those moments for whatever it is that you're waiting for. For us, it was a baby. Um, but I think too, it's just when you realize like you can't believe God for the thing but not believe his process. And it's like oftentimes you have to believe, okay, if I'm believing God for, in our case, this baby, I have to trust that he knows what's best. I have to trust that God is the God that sees the before, the after, the beginning, the end, like all of those things. So we can't pick and choose how we want God to show up in our life. We have to encompass all that he is, and have the thought process of, okay, if now is not the time, if he doesn't see the time is fit for now, I have to trust him with that. I have to trust that he's seeing something that I'm not seeing with my natural eye. He's knowing, as we say, he's all knowing, right? So
mhm,
it's like, do we really trust the things that we say about him?
yeah,
And so I think that that is something that was hard, because like we said, like when you're in the thick of it, sometimes you don't want to hear that scripture, you don't want to hear like those things. But it's like the reality of knowing that, us looking back, and I always say this, us
mhm,
looking back is like
mhm.
God knew exactly what he was doing. And it's not that we're trying to be God, right? But in the same breath, it's like sometimes we feel like we know what's best for our lives, and we sometimes lose sight of there is someone bigger that is in control,
In
and
control.
he just may know what he's doing. So it's like looking back, it's like, I know we always joke about, I was ready to have a baby year 1 when we got married. Hope was not ready. Kadero, you were not
I
ready.
was
None of
not
us was ready.
ready.
We wasn't ready financially. We wasn't ready
No.
spiritually. We wasn't ready at all. And there was just so many things that God allowed us to avoid, pains and issues. And even when you think about where we were, that would not have been an environment that I would have wanted our daughter to grow up in. That would not have been the mother that I would have wanted her to experience back then, the father that she would have experienced back then. We've grown so much since when we thought we were ready.
Yeah.
And I often say that we have to trust God, or I often ask the question, do you trust God with your lineage? And knowing that, like, he knows all. He knows the people Novi needs to be around. He knows the character that needed to be built in us. He knows the location of where she needed to be raised, because we moved quite a few times.
Yeah.
And I do feel like Oklahoma is where Novi belongs, you know.
She a little country
She
girl.
a little country girl, but it's just all the things we have to know to trust God. So now it's like that restoring in God, and like you kind of mentioned earlier, is just um now that we've seen the way that he's worked and his timing, it's easier for, the next big thing that we're believing for, or the next little thing that we're believing for,
Mhm,
and knowing that, okay, if he did it before here and his timing to us was revealed to be perfect, I have to trust him with that in the
Yeah.
next thing and then in the next season.
And I do want people to realize, like, don't think what we're saying is don't feel the feels,
Yeah, for sure.
because we're not saying like, oh, this waiting season, oh, I know, and it's gonna hurt, but I'm just because I know God's gonna
Yeah.
come. Like, you're gonna feel the feels, but also Scripture talks about is capting, take captive of
Yep.
those thoughts,
Yeah.
so that it doesn't now overtake you.
Yeah.
And so knowing God's timing, knowing that his ways are greater than our ways, his
Yeah.
thoughts are greater than our
Higher.
thoughts,
Yep.
and higher than our thoughts. And so
Mhm.
we are able to just now, like you said, look at every moment now and change our perspective in it, and change there's a paradigm shift in our own way we think now to say,
Mhm.
okay, God, what are you doing in this waiting season? How should I wait?
Yeah.
So that at the end of the day, he gets glory.
Yep.
Because I think if things happen, we will forget God and think we
Mhm.
did it ourselves, or we
yeah.
give somebody else the props. And at the end
Yeah.
of the day, God deserves all the glory.
Yes. So we love you guys.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
hope you
yeah.
guys enjoyed our answer of our question
On
for day
two.
2. Yes, find all of the things below, all of our websites, all of our handles,
We
all of
only
the
got
things.
one website.
Oops! Just our website, all of our handles, all of the things. Make sure you
Absolutely.
like, comment, subscribe, and email us if you have any questions, or all the info will be below. So,
All right.
yeah,
That's
that's it.
cool.
That's
Until
it.
next time.
Love you guys. Peace.